Welcome back. We're talking about a special lens right now. Macro lenses are specially designed to permit focusing at very close distances to create what are called macro photographs. We usually associate this type of photography with documentation of small things, and I remember one of my old professors referring to it as the postage stamp lens. Macro photographs are characterized by an image that appears at a 1:1 size on the sensor, and photographers who are interested in everything from scientific pursuits to purely artistic abstract expressions enjoy this type of image making. Macro photography should not be confused with photomicrography, which involves using a microscope to create an image at a greater than 1:1 ratio, or microphotography, which is defined as making very, very small photographs, for example, the kind that a spy might want to hide. This photograph was made in 1858 by Langenheim and Company of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it shows a mental hospital. I have no idea why it was created so small, but it was only 1 millimeter in diameter. If you're a Nikon camera owner, you may be getting a little confused at this point because while virtually every other manufacturer refers to their macro lenses as macro lenses, Nikon refers to theirs as micro lenses. The reason for this is that one of the original uses of such lenses was as part of the process of creating microforms. Microforms are greatly reduced film versions of documents, such as newspapers, magazines, and other papers, that can often be found in libraries or archives. Don't worry, Nikon owners, your micro lens is a macro lens. Well, these things called macro lenses can be of any number of focal lengths, ranging from 15 millimeters all the way up to 200 millimeters. They provide options for close-up photography to those who favor super wide angles or those preferring telephotos. While some photographers purchase a particular focal length with macro capability just so they are prepared for the occasional close-up picture, others buy a lens mainly for that macro photography capability. During my graduate education, I purchased my first macro lens, a 55 millimeter, because I needed to be able to create my own slideshows with examples of great photography to show my students. And copying the images from library books was the way I built my first teaching slide collection. It was also critical for me to be able to photograph my own photographs so I could send slides to museums and galleries to share my artwork. You may have similar needs if you're a teacher of any subject, and you can generally copy those pictures for educational use as an exception to the copyright restrictions. For whatever type of close-up photography you plan to do, picking the right focal length lens will be an important decision. Here are a few guidelines. For photographing, as I did, reproductions from books, small products, stamps, baseball or football collectible cards, and so forth, a lens in the 40 to 70 millimeter range will work well. I would not use such a lens, though, if the thing I was photographing would be affected by my working fairly closely to it, such as a live snake. Maybe not such a good choice. A lens in the 70 to 105 millimeter range will allow you to be a bit further away from the object or snake or insect you're photographing, yet still create a 1:1 reproduction. Sometimes you may need to be further back so you do not cast a shadow on the thing you're photographing, or perhaps want to avoid having your reflection become part of the picture. Those were a few of my concerns when I used a 100 millimeter macro lens to photograph this Chevy Corvette auto symbol. If you're intent on making a 1:1 macro photo of the eye of a wolf, or some other creature which it would not make much sense to get too terribly close to, then a lens in the focal range is longer than about 100 millimeter would make a lot of sense. Exploring the world of macro photography can bring you exciting new options for content no matter what your main interests are. I encourage you to try your hand at this aspect of photography and surprise yourself with the results.